You are watching Liberty Online TV.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone.
Orange.
Building tomorrow today with Rightmove. Looking for quality, reliability, and innovation in your next big build? Choose Rightmove Engineering and Construction, Sierra Leone's trusted name in transforming ideas into enduring structures. We don't just build projects, we craft landmarks that stand the test of time. From state-of-the-art offices and modern homes to fuel stations, water systems, and infrastructure, our team delivers precision, passion, and perfection. At Rightmove, we are not following industry standards, we are setting them. Through cutting-edge technology, uncompromising safety, and sustainable solutions, we are building a brighter, stronger, and safer Sierra Leone. Visit us at 54 Campbell Street, Freetown, or call 078399475 or 077504338. Rightmove Engineering and Construction. Building quality, building trust, building the future.
It's Labor Day. After all the grind, stress, and queries at the office, it's time to ease your brain, laugh out loud, and feel like the CEO. Laugh with Kido and my hustle will make sense on Labor Day, Friday, May 1st, 2026. Venue, prestigious Pintumani Hotel, 7 p.m. Ticket prices: Kido, 500 leons. Answer, 1,000 leons. Amin, table for 4, 10,000 leons. Adil, table for 8, 20,000 leons. You don't buy yourself plenty. Now come and laugh. No excuse. Media partner Liberty Online TV and cooked by Eminence Africa.
I say it don't make sense. I don't make sense.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the midweek edition of the Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV. We they stream na Facebook, YouTube, and also now we website where they powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring this edition of the Breakfast Show come to you this Wednesday morning. My name na Khadija Bangora.
And me na Mabel Kaba. Good morning. Today now Wednesday, the 25th day of February 2026. Inside this edition of the Breakfast Show today, we can talk to the British High Commissioner to Salon, Osai Key, among many other things, and we go for can talk about. We look at the UK, the e-visa system, when they begin today. Osai, then they begin issue electronic visa to people, and they don't need again for go stamp you passports. Well, how they get this switch, the purpose behind that, and the reason they decide to say that they begin do e-visa system today when at the 25th of February, 9 they start this, waiting a day bought. We can discuss all of that inside this edition of the Breakfast Show.
And also, as you all know, the Guinean military being arrest Salon Soldier man them where they not in custody, as information we'll still get this morning. Well, we can know waiting at the position of the Salone government and that of the military. And also again, where from the British High Commission as it goes state them position on the tripartite implementation. As we now know, the UK be the part of the international partner them we been support the agreement for national unity, the term where the All People's Congress been say they get issues with the 2023 elections and they not go take part pan governance. Well, the international partner then been come together, spend plenty couple for the two parties then been sit down and talk about the issues that we then be disagree on. The implementation of the tripartite committee they go on now, but we don't they the APC say they know they get the support where they're supposed to get from the other implementing partner when are the government of Sierra Leone. Well, waiting the international partner then think about this, waiting at some of the issues them where don't they go behind the scene. You go know inside this edition of the Breakfast Show as we can talk to the British High Commissioner and a Salone where go can tell we waiting at them position and self we go talk about the e-visa when they start for role today. You say for the watch we go get the opportunity at some point for send we your message na the comment section at any of the platform them where they watch we in case you get question for the British High Commissioner, send them through the comment section at any of the platform them, or you can as well text we on the number +23274200545 for let yourself your voice go be heard inside this edition of the Breakfast Show where they come to you this morning live on Liberty Online TV.
All right, so we continue with the Breakfast Show. Before we usher in the British High Commissioner, let me just quickly go now Parliament and take a report. Also, the Minister of Transport yesterday been table one supplementary bill in Parliament where they talk about air transportation fare them. Well, according to them, if this Parliament agree for this particular document, it will make reduction day on the amount of money where Sierra Leonean citizens and people at the ECOWAS they pay right now per air transportation. Let me just watch as Al-Hassan Kuruma go give more on that.
Tuesday, February 24 this year, the Deputy Minister of Transport and Aviation, Rex Bonafa, then go lay the supplementary act where they look inside common rules there, where they determine the condition of access to air transport market na ECOWAS member states them. We been the talk, but one part the team them, we go help improve on air transport na ECOWAS states them. The Deputy Minister of Transport and Aviation, Rex Bonafa, say the tax and tickets na some airport them expensive. We make ECOWAS head of states them the work for ensure say they make rules them we will reduce the price for air transport for ECOWAS member states them.
Also, the call of the Authority of Affairs of States and Government, the ECOWAS Commission convened a meeting of Director General of Civil Aviation Authorities of member states, directors and senior officials from the 5th to 7th November 2024 to recommend concrete measures for the effective implementation of the ECOWAS Regional and Common Policy on Aviation charges and fees for the consideration of the meeting of Transport Ministers on 8 November 2024 in Lomé, Togo. The meeting also considered the report of the ECOWAS of the experts meeting on the draft harmonized regional regulation to implement the ECOWAS Supplementary Act on common rules for aviation security in ECOWAS member states, adopted by the ECOWAS Authority of Affairs of State and Government on 17 February 2012. The main objectives of the experts meeting were: 1, to recall the current economic regulation and related safety and security status and challenges of the air transport industry in the ECOWAS region.
Inside in your talk, the Deputy Leader 2 of the Opposition at Parliament, Honorable Aaron Kuruma, say Salone dey among countries in West Africa where them flight tickets expensive.
Countries between Sierra Leone to any other country, we are rated among countries with the highest cost of tickets. We are rated among the highest. So if you have agreements or protocols which the minister said they have tendencies to have reduced costs, I didn't know why it was not in haste to make sure that we ratify this agreement. But yet, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we believe the agreements are not controversial. Besides, we believe Sierra Leone is a member of the ECOWAS, and besides, we say we are even a strategic member of the ECOWAS Commission. And as a result, if we have treaties that emanated from the ECOWAS, it's but fitting that this Parliament for Regional Integration is but fitting that we ratify and if possible, domesticate these particular protocols.
We himself been the top of the same agreement. The data of government business, Honorable Matisa Nyuma, say the Ministry of Transport and Aviation for ensure say they take into consideration of things them where they happen to passenger them na the Lungi Airport.
Air transport system is the big issue they have been talking about. So when they raise the issue of discrepancies, they are still referring to the ground handling of some of these issues. So we now come to the modalities in dealing with some of these issues in the air transport system in the sub-regions. And they have included the Central Africa too. Article 4(2)(a), I will just read that one, Mr. Speaker. Major states shall ensure that activities of service provider at an airport, which Honorable Aaron was raising, at an airport, subject to an approval issued by competent authority. So you cannot just be in facility, you are doing ground handling. If issues of this nature, service providers, what is happening to the Australian passengers, how do we handle them? If you don't give it to competent authority, this is where we are going to be. So A is saying the criteria for granting an approval must refer to sound financial situations, technical capability, access according to tax to be carried out, and sufficient insurance coverage. Such as criteria shall also refer to the safety and security of facilities, aircraft, equipment, or persons, as well as environmental protection and compliance with the relevant social legislations.
Honorable Matisa Nyuma end up say plenty challenge day by air transport system. We make a call on the Ministry of Transport and Aviation for look inside the rules system. We go help for enforce and improve on the air transport system na Salone. For Liberty Online TV, Alhassan Kumar the report.
All right, from Parliament, we dey can now studio. Earlier, I'll tell una say this morning, we dey can talk to the British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, when Josephine Gold, we go can tell we waiting at the reason them we make the British High Commission, the UK government decide for transition to e-visa. Women say now, if you're not applicant, you don't send in all your application, you don't upload all your supporting documents them. Now the portal, you just need for go na the visa application center and do your biometric. Then you wait for communication from the UK visa center. We then go send via email. You will just get the visa notification. You don't need for send your passport again. Neither need for get a sticker on your passport. And also, it go tell we what it think about the tripartite implementation process. We don't see it don't get several meetings with members of the opposition. It don't get meeting with civil society people them, especially turning like this now where the country slowly the transition into politics. All that Josephine go explain waiting at the UK them position, but we go start first for talk about the e-visa process way effective today. Then they begin for rollout. Good morning, Josephine.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should we keep it strictly English, or you want to show?
No, I'm not brave enough to show my Creole, I'm afraid.
I thought you want to show your Creole skills.
I'm not quite there yet.
Okay.
I think my predecessor was famous for her good Creole, but I haven't quite mastered it to the same extent as she has.
But you've been around for a while.
I've been around for a while, but I'm working on it. But,
Maybe you should take some more extra classes.
I should indeed.
So effective today,
yes.
The UK is moving from the old visa system, which you will have to send your passport to the UK and you'll get the visa sticker on your passport, and they'll have to send it through DHL back home here in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
But now you want to make it strictly electronic visas.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that decision. Why?
So this has been a long time coming, because I think we heard from a lot of people that it was very difficult. It was frustrating having to wait because if you had to put your passport in and you were waiting, you couldn't travel anywhere else. And particularly for business people, that was a real challenge, that they might not have access to their passport for maybe 3 weeks or so. So this is something we have been gradually rolling out. We did it with student visas from last year and found that was working well. And now today is the global rollout for all visas. So the most common sort of visa people apply for is visitor visas. And from today, if you apply, you will get an e-visa rather than the sticker, as you were saying.
It's only for the potential applicants who will file in their application effective today, or if you have a pending application but you are yet to do your biometric at the visa application center, will the e-visa affect your own visa? Or if you have applied before, you will have the same old sticker on your passport?
So my understanding is if you haven't gone to do your biometrics yet, then you'll have an e-visa.
Okay.
So because that's where the change is, because previously you would do your application online, then you'd go down, as you were saying, you'd go down to do your biometrics, do your fingerprints, take photos, and then they would hold on to your passport until the sticker was in it. But if you're only going down now, they will just be able to do they'll take the biometrics, and then you go away with your passport, and then you, as you're saying, you get a notification that your visa's come through, and you set up everyone will be asked to set up an account on where they can access the visa, essentially.
So is it going to work for the existing application email account, for example, or you need to get a new account for the e-visa?
So you use your own email as your sort of notification, but then you have to log in to the visa site, basically. So you'll have your personal account where you can log in, and that's where you'll be able to access your visa. And also, for example, airlines can check that so there's a lot of security around it. So we've been talking about doing this for quite some years, and the challenge is how to make sure that it's a really secure system, because we don't want it to be kind of fraudulent, and we want to make sure that people don't get scammed. So we have there's a sort of secure account where people will be able to access there and demonstrate that they have the visa.
For some accounts, it's only applicable for one person at a time. This particular e-visa account, will it be applicable, for example, if you want to travel with your family and you want to apply for the visa?
Yeah.
Is it applicable for multiple people?
So you can use the same email address as your login or whatever it is, to demonstrate. So if you're a parent, you can access everybody's using your email. You can use that as the way to access all the different visas. So essentially, yes, you can group them together.
You made mention of how securitized the system is. And in most cases, for other visa application portals, you will have to log in several times before you will be granted an access for you to upload maybe your supporting document or to check on the status of your application. For this particular system, how accessible is it, especially when it's a new system, and most applicants will find it very uneasy for them to go through the system?
So the application process remains the same. So that's not changing, which is all very much kind of online, and you have to, you log in, you upload your documents. So that bit just remains just as it is. This one I haven't tried it myself yet.
Yes.
So but we've been piloting it for a couple of years. So we've really been testing it. We did it slowly to make sure that it works, that it's kind of that it is both easy enough for people to use and also secure enough, because the airlines also are very, very rigorous on this one, because they often they get fined if they take people who don't have a valid travel documents or valid visas.
Will it not be so confusing having access to somebody's biodata, because the airline will have to access the visa online?
It's a number.
In that case, they will have access.
No, they have a code. There's a code.
The back.
There's a code. I'm not sure which is the proof of the visa. So no, they don't get more. They don't get more sort of data than they need. Very much.
So in terms of timing, how long does it take to get the approval or disapproval? Because on a normal basis, people who do apply used to complain, oh, they are delayed.
It's very slow
to get their passport back. So what about the timing?
So we're keeping our sort of official timing as 15 working days. I mean, that's what our and because it goes up and down depending on levels of demand. But we'll see how that's actually affected. I mean, that obviously used to factor in the time we needed to allow for the visas to be delivered. So we're not making promises yet on that we're going to be able to beating records. We have seen with the student visas that the turnaround improved quite a lot. So I would hope that we're going to get quicker decisions, but it will. It's very seasonal.
Is it just applicable to the visitor's visa, the student's visa?
This is another. I don't know. It's the student visa has been for a year now, so that's very tried and tested. And the visitor visa is the most.
So how about other categories of visas?
Other categories of visas, I would need to check, I think. But the aim is to make them all e-visas.
How user friendly is the system? Because it's not every individual that is tech savvy. Go through the process.
We know that. I mean, this does require people will need to travel with a smartphone to be able to access the information. So I think as a rule, I think our government systems, we're very, very conscious about accessibility and inclusion. So someone's 96-year-old grandmother might struggle with it, but I think we always try and we always have very much the user in focus. So it is designed to be fairly straightforward.
Transitioning now to the e-visa, will it reduce the time frame an applicant will have to wait until you have a communication from the visa center whether your visa has been granted or declined?
So at the moment we are sticking with our current, the current
time frame.
Service level agreement, I think we say it is, and we'll see how it works. I think in practice.
What about the costs?
The cost stays the same. The cost stays the same.
I thought there would be a reduction.
There's not a reduction, I'm afraid. The cost does stay the same. But I think the big change, and I think what people, certainly from the conversations I get, what they'll appreciate is the fact that they take their passport away, so then you can put it into, if you're going to travel to multiple places, you can go and apply for your other visa at the same time, or you can carry on traveling, and particularly for business, that's always a
so
big
before
consideration.
traveling, they must have the approval through the same login before going to the airport.
Absolutely. Yes.
Josephine, talking about the cost, why is it that an applicant needs to pay for 3 different services? You need to pay the visa fee, you need to even pay for your if you want to arrange your document at the visa application center, you need to pay for that, and you need to pay for other charges.
So
why is it so expensive?
It is expensive. I know it's expensive. So we run the visa service as something which is kind of cost neutral. So all the costs of running the visa service are funded by the visa fees, essentially. So so that's part of the cost of the visa. But people have the choice to upload their documents at home or down at the visa application center. And there's a private company who runs the visa application service for us. It's outsourced. So those are service
company.
Yeah, it's an Indian company. I think okay. And so they have, those are services that they offer essentially. So those are they offer sort of premium services and the additional service of uploading the document. So that is those are the fees that they are charging to offer those services.
So why not, like before, you will only have to pay a minimal fee for the visa processing, just like other embassies. You just have to pay one-off. But now you have to make about 3 payments.
Will you pay the visa fee everyone pays? That's
of course.
Yes.
And with additional costs.
Yes, the additional costs, some of them are optional. So if you want your documents uploaded at the visa application center, that's a choice that people make. And then there's those different services. I think we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm afraid there's not going to be any radical reductions in the visa fees.
So it will be just like this.
Yes. Yep.
All right, let's look at some other issues. You've been around, especially when there was some issues between the government and that of the opposition that led to the agreement for peace and unity. And we've been hearing a lot of complaints from the co-chair of the tripartite, who is now Dr. Kelfala Mara, about how the government is not giving them the necessary cooperation in implementing some of the recommendations in the tripartite. And at some point I saw a photo, you met with them. What are the concerns really coming from the opposition, from your own end?
You know, we always try and make sure that we're listening and talking to everybody, all the different parties in the, you know, just to try and understand everyone's different perspectives on this. I think what we were, you know, I think what we felt was so important with the tripartite agreement was that there was this kind of mutual consensus of, you know, all these recommendations and the work which was necessary to do to lay good foundations ahead of the next elections. And no one's ever going to agree every day. I mean, that's obviously, you know, that's politics too. Everyone's got very strong opinions, but I think we recognise that there's there's a degree of frustrations. There's you know, different perspectives, which I think that's why it's so important that to be able to maintain that spirit that the tripartite was agreed in all the political work going on now. Yes, and whether that's through the tripartite committee itself, or you know, we're seeing that the constitutional amendments are now subject of discussion at Parliament. But then again, you've got multi-party opportunities to feed in, and I've seen Parliament have been consulting widely and getting people. You've got civil society and others have been sharing their views, which I think is you know, it feels like a very constructive way of making sure everyone is heard.
The constitutional amendment bill, which is in Parliament now, has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
For the opposition, they are saying most of the recommendations that the AG took to Parliament that has to do with electoral reforms, the AG and the government of Sierra Leone omitted most of their own recommendation. For example, the one that has to do with appointing the next electoral commissioner. It has to go through a search and nomination committee. But we've just seen His Excellency the President appointed Edmond Alpha as the new Chief Electoral Commissioner without waiting for the amendment process to go through. These are some of the concerns from the opposition.
Yeah, no, we've heard those too. We have heard those too. I suppose what I'm saying with the I mean, this is a proposal now. The bill is in Parliament. What I think we're hoping to see as for sort of observers is that there's a really kind of meaningful debate, because that's, you know, the role of Parliament is to debate and also where people listen to each other's arguments and respond accordingly. So I think the fact that they have consulted, that they've had input from, you know, different, whether it's human rights groups, civil society groups, lots of different voices I think we've been seeing and hearing are submitting suggestions. So I think what is there may not be what comes out. If Parliament is working effectively, the final act which is adopted, I would hope is going to reflect some of that input.
But that will determine for the next electoral commissioner, not this
for the current one.
One already.
Yes, that is. I mean, that is obviously a hot topic of debate, and I know it's a very live political issue at the moment. And the APC were meeting yesterday to talk about their response to it. I mean, again, I think what we saw with what I hope can be maintained or rediscovered somehow is that spirit in which the tripartite agreement was negotiated, because this is it's a multi-party democracy. You've got different people will be in power at different times. The politicians come and go, but what is ultimately important is what this feels like for the people of Sierra Leone, and everyone is fighting for the development of the country and the good of the people of Sierra Leone. So this shouldn't be about kind of point scoring in the process. It needs to be. I think there was a lot of positivity. Hard fought those recommendations in the tripartite. I think from everything I heard, I wasn't here at the time, but I've heard a lot of people who went through it, and it was late nights and heated arguments, but it had resulted in agreement. And I think that's that spirit of trying to say, okay, collectively, this is for the good of a country. How do we get there?
Implementing the recommendations from the tripartite, depending on who you speak with, they will tell you there are challenges moving forward. But you've met both parties, you've engaged the opposition and that of the government. What would you say is a common challenge in terms of making progress and agreeing to what they've signed for? What have you identified as the common challenge?
I think a lot of the goals, there's quite a lot of technical work underneath, so it's things take time. So I think there's a degree of frustration at the pace, and I think we were probably, in all the deadlines, everything was expectations that things would have moved faster, but at the same time, there's a lot of other things going on, so it's quite. I think that is a particular challenge, and then. It all gets quite intensely political as well, obviously. So, and I think there still needs to be some scope. Obviously, everyone agreed certain things at the time, and now maybe the reality looks a little bit different. So I think there's potentially a process to actually rediscuss in a kind of non-point scoring way would be interesting.
From the meetings you've held with both parties,
yeah,
is there a will to stick by what is in the agreement?
I think fundamentally, I mean, everyone is different though. So I think every different, and there's a real diversity and a richness though of people involved in all that work, which is, I think you can't say everyone is bringing different views and contributing to it. So, it's not like you have one voice for one party, one voice for another party. I think there is quite a mix. I mean, fundamentally, everyone signed up to it, though. I think that's the really important thing. Everyone signed up to it, and there is some really, really good stuff in that agreement. I think it was because, I mean, everyone's been through multiple elections. They've seen where things have been challenging. We've seen where people where trust has been breached, and so all those priorities listed in that agreement are really the fundamental questions which are needed to basically build political trust and also maintain people's trust in democracy, which I think is the ultimate goal, is that the population recognises the value of going out and voting as a way of expressing their opinion and their choice.
I believe you're tracking progress as they move along. And most of these recommendations and the reforms that are ongoing now are supposed to start for the 2028 election in terms of effects.
Yeah.
From what you're seeing, and based on what is on the paper that is signed to, are you thinking that most of these reforms will be concluded to that of the 2028 elections in terms of them being active towards that?
I think there's scope for some of them. I mean, maybe there's a complicated question of the sequencing, I suppose, because some of the constitutional reforms, if they require a referendum for some of the entrenched clauses, those are likely to only come in, after a referendum happens, and logically a referendum is probably going to take place on, the same day as the elections. Just from a practical perspective, the logistics and the cost of doing that as a separate process would be sort of prohibitive. So there is a bit of a sequencing with some of it.
We're asking all of these questions because we've been hosting members of both parties here. There are a lot of arguments going on, especially on the implementation process. For the opposition, yesterday they held a meeting, especially on the appointment of Mr. Edmond Alpha, who is now the new Chief Electoral Commissioner, waiting for parliamentary approval. And I was told by today he will appear in front of the Committee on Appointment for interview. After that, he will go through the nomination process in Parliament. For the APC, they believe that the government is not going according to what they signed up to which is the Agreement for National Unity. And many a time they are mentioning that they will have to meet with the international partners, and the UK is part of the international partners. What's your impression so far when it comes to these issues, especially complaints from the other party who is a signatory to this Agreement for Peace and Unity?
It's a tricky one because I think it's tricky to, this is Sierra Leone is a sovereign country. You've got many very capable and able politicians with a lot of experience. We are certainly, we care about Sierra Leone. As the UK, we've got a long, deep partnership. We've got a very big Sierra Leonean community in the UK. There's the ties across the two countries are intense, but ultimately we are here as we can observe, but and we want to listen and to try and help all parties sort of talk to each other best. But ultimately, these are going to be decisions taken by Sierra Leonean politicians, whether it's in Parliament or whatever. So it's I think we need to be careful about how sort of the balance we strike in this. I suppose my general comment is that something like the Electoral Commission, it does need to have the trust of all political actors to be effective, because they are of the neutral body who will oversee the elections. So whatever happens, however the Electoral Commission runs in the future, that it's such a key institution.
But as international partners, you spent a lot of money on this process that led to the tripartite and also their work and the recommendations. A lot of money you spent in the entire process. So are you worried hearing these concerns that, especially on the side of government, they're not willing to implement some of the recommendations that will ensure that the 2028 elections will go out free, fair, and transparent?
I think our role is to constantly keep on. We're trying to remind everybody about what they signed up for and try and bring them back to, remember when it was, what you went through to agree these recommendations and how what it took. And because I think, it's always striking. Sierra Leone has been through a lot. You have had some really tough moments, and when I talk to sort of people who are not involved in politics, everyone wants peace, everyone wants stability. They want to be able to get on with their lives. They want their children to have good opportunity, good education. They want good healthcare. They want that's the things which matter. So I think our role often is just to remind a lot of the politicians what's at stake, because I think politics can be quite a impassioned experience. But actually, ultimately, what matters is what is happening for people's lives, and then that they can choose who is going to be the leadership or their representation in Parliament and who will do that best.
For the politicians, a lot is at stake currently, especially regarding the reforms that are going on. And when you talk to the opposition and some groups, they believe the president should have used his office and goodwill not to appoint an chief electoral commissioner at this stage, because the reforms are ongoing and part of the reforms has to affect the selection of who is to occupy that particular seat. But the president, on the other hand, has used his own powers based on the constitution and has appointed someone for this position. And like I stated, the opposition believed he should have waited for the process to go on, because they believe the person in question, Edmond Alpha, was one of the people part of the 2023 elections that led to the tripartite. What's your comments regarding all of these conversations now? What should people really look out for, instead of arguing the president should have waited for the process to go through or allowing the constitution to take its mandate? What's your comments on that?
Yeah, I suppose different parties and will have different interpretations of what the process is. My understanding of it is that he's essentially nominated and now has to go before a parliamentary committee, and then the parliamentary process, and then we come back to this question of and then I mean, I hope the MPs take this very seriously. It's, this is their opportunity to question, to challenge. I think we're quite familiar with seeing, it's similar to the American system where they are, they're often having their sort of congressional hearings and they can grill and ask a lot of questions. And I think the question, if I were an MP, the question would be, as an individual, how would he build and maintain the trust of the political parties given the current situation? I think that is that's whoever is in the Electoral Commission has to have the trust and be able to convince all political parties that they are working in a neutral way to run the elections. So, he's someone with a great deal of electoral experience, but I think that is the question to be.
You've been in between these political parties, both the opposition and that of the government. And just like you said earlier, you're just observing, listening to their concerns and see how you can come in as international partners supporting Sierra Leone, especially when it comes to the peace and stability of the country. But recently, there have been tensions. The National Secretary General of the opposition, he was detained and later sent to the correctional center. We are not discussing the merit of the case because it's before the court, but detaining a Secretary General of an opposition party, how were you able to negotiate in between the opposition and the government for them to see reasoning, for them to collaborate together as to what they signed up to in the agreement for national unity, because he was later granted bail?
I think the nature of, for diplomacy we try and keep a bit of a low profile sometimes. I mean, I think the aim is, maybe we have a lot of conversations, but we don't always have to be, front page of the newspapers.
But you walk behind the scene.
We try sometimes, and but you never know. Is it effective? It's which voice are people listening to most? But I think certainly for me, our sort of main message at the moment is just there was a very good spirit for the agreeing a way forward to and I really would hope that everyone is sticking to that to ensure that or working and striving to achieve that, to prepare for the 2028 elections, because we see now so much of that preparation, the groundwork is happening now, even though it's several years ahead. So everything that happens now is really key to that. And if the political parties can keep that in mind and then rebuild trust and a kind of confidence in the process, then you get a more of a level playing field for the...
So do you think there is this level playing field between all the players, the actors?
I think the playing field at the moment is a little rocky. But I think there's potential. There's real scope to... Because once the political, because even within the political parties, everyone will be vying for, the flag bearer roles or, nomination to run for MP. There's many internal competitions, and then there will be the, party to party contest when we get close to elections. So there's, that's where the competition needs to be. But set fair ground rules, I think, is in everybody's interest.
Yes, as you mentioned, it's a little bit rocky at the moment, and many times you'll hear them, we are calling on the international community, which means you people have a lot of work to do, especially doing the diplomacy kind of engagement in ensuring that everyone have a smooth playing field for them to exercise their democratic rights, because belonging to a political party, it is an individual's democratic right to belong. And now the opposition is complaining that the government is shifting the goalpost. They feel betrayed by the government, especially in keeping to what they agreed on. In 2028, a lot of people are saying it is a transition from one individual who is President Bio, maybe to another member of his party, or maybe to a member of the opposition. We all remember what happened in 2023. Up till now, the opposition are saying the elections were not credible, the elections were not transparent, there are no disaggregated data for even members of the public, which means a lot is at stake and you have a lot of work to do, Josephine.
Well, I mean, I think, I see our role as international community very much as being here as a kind of friends of Sierra Leone. So we will, we will definitely continue to talk to everybody. Ultimately, I think some of the really thornier problems have to be owned and decided by Sierra Leoneans. We're not going to solve the problems. I think we want to help ensure people take the right path to reach those consensus and that kind of agreement. And everything is about really laying that good groundwork for 2028. My previous post was in Kenya, so and we saw the disaggregated data. It was amazing, the degree of transparency and the breakdown.
We love to see that in Sierra Leone.
It was something. I think the politicians themselves had not realised quite how transparent it was going to be, but it was. That I think was probably a bit of a world leader in terms of that degree of breakdown. So. There's plenty of models, there's plenty of experience, there's plenty around the world to look at, to see different ways of working. And obviously with technology now, it's making it easier, it's making it more transparent. And I absolutely, in sort of 20 plus years of working in different African countries, lots of them sort of post-conflict, or, and every election is hot. But there's so many different ways. And the more you can be transparent, the more you can actually ensure that everybody really can get behind the system. So, because ultimately you want to be in a place after an election where the losers go, oh well, we'll try harder next time, kind of thing.
But based on the conversations you've been having with parties involved, especially the opposition and the government, do you sense any commitment from both parties as to ensuring that the peace is sustained and going to free and fair elections come 2020? Do you sense that commitment from them?
I think everybody is very committed to the fundamental peace and recognizes the journey Sierra Leone has been on. I think everyone has a slightly different interpretation, though, obviously, as politicians of what.
Yeah, because some people just believe the politicians just advocate for their political gains instead of looking out for the country's peace, for example.
I've been really struck. I mean, earlier in January we had the first Remembrance Day for the conflict, and I've been really, really struck in the last 2 months, I would say, how much more people are telling me their stories of experience of the conflict, and how it feels like there's almost like a bit of a generational shift, that people who really lived through that and suffered it are now wanting to tell their stories to a younger generation who weren't there, who just know it as kind of history. And there's so many personal stories, and particularly amongst the politicians, this is a really personal, deep lived experience. So I don't think anyone is going to really play fast and loose with that, because I think they've seen the risks and the dangers. So ultimately, I think there is.
There are reforms going on now internally at the Electoral Commission, and like I mentioned earlier, you as international partners, you spent a lot of money on the entire process that led to these electoral reforms. When you are meeting with the ESL, are you encouraging them to follow international best practice moving forward? Because everyone has moved past the 2023 elections now. A lot of citizens are looking forward to the next elections, which is 2028, and international best practice is the best model when it comes to elections all over the world. And it will be really, really frustrating for citizens for the next elections to happen and questions of transparency start coming up again.
Yeah. So yes, there have been these, big reviews done working with the Electoral Commission. So there's been a lot of work, as you said, on that. So the information is there, the reports are there, the recommendations are there, and then the next stage will be how's that implemented, how's that adopted, and how is. So, and there's a kind of a technical side and the political side, and then there's a part where it's like a Venn diagram where the technical and the political merge. And so I think the Electoral Commission is an incredibly important institution, especially in an environment where you need trust. I think in the UK, people would be hard pushed to know much about our Electoral Commission because there is it's a fairly sort of tried and trusted system. But we vote with pencils. We don't even use ink when we're marking our ballot papers. So, but I think having that. The next couple of years and how these are implemented and some of the decisions, there's some really, really, really key opportunities as well, I think, to get things right.
There was a visa sanction for certain individuals after the 2023 elections. Is the UK reviewing those sanctions?
We don't talk about the sanctions. Some of them we publish, but sometimes we keep it quiet.
So any plans of reviewing them?
Or maybe
not at the moment. It's not a topic at the moment. I mean, it's always those are. I mean, every country has that opportunity.
It's a topic because that's just like an opener to my next questions because we are coming to discuss immigration. Yeah. We are seeing a lot of countries, they are tightening up their borders. A lot of deportation is happening. So I just wanted to set the ground for the next question. That is why I asked, because there were visa sanctions for certain individuals that were part of the problems for 2023 elections. Yeah. Is there plans for the UK to review those visa sanctions?
I mean, visa sanctions is always a weapon in the arsenal, potentially. So, it's something which is there, but at the moment, our priority is being able to issue the visas more efficiently, I think. So that's what we're hoping the e-visas will do. And I think we have a lot of travel backwards and forwards between the UK and Sierra Leone. We're excited now to have reestablished a direct air route with Air Sierra Leone as well. So we want to see more of that. We're encouraging more students to come from Sierra Leone. We're just in the process of doing our interviews now for our scholarship students to go in September for the masters. So we really like to promote these links backwards and forwards, and it's really striking how many Sierra Leoneans have a really close tie with the UK. So I think our migration relationship is generally pretty positive.
Sierra Leone is under a visa ban from the United States, and according to the US State Department, this ban came into effect because the government refused to take back certain individuals that are holding Sierra Leonean passports and other documentation. For the UK, do you have people of this nature that you want to send back?
So we're actually having some really good discussions at the moment. We had a delegation from our Home Office. So our Ministry of the Interior were here in Freetown last week, having just those discussions. I mean, it's small numbers, very, very small numbers.
Like how much?
Small.
What's the figure?
Under 10.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean.
So there's no issue of overstay?
With a few overstayers, but, it's small. It's not.
So are you planning to send them back? Is the government willing to take them? Because this is the problem between the government of Sierra Leone and that of the United States that led to the visa ban, because the government of Sierra Leone were reluctant of taking back these individuals, which the United States believed they are Sierra Leoneans.
Yes, yeah. No, so it's exactly the same topic that we were discussing as well, because there's always a few. So we're not talking about sending aeroplanes of people back or anything like that. It's and it's just it's a very steady drumbeat. Sometimes we've got it happens as well that we have British people who've overstayed on their visas, and then we negotiate to send them back to the UK as well. So it's a two-way process. The numbers are small, but what we're very keen to do is to establish a very kind of smooth, easy system.
Was the government cooperating?
We had really, really good conversations last week.
Are they willing to take these individuals?
So we're just trying to finalise an agreement so we can just make sure that we've got an easy way of communicating backwards and forwards and doing it. So I think we're very confident that anyone that we would be sending back is a Sierra Leonean. And the system we use around the world is basically if we send someone back and then on arrival at the border, they're interviewed and they say, actually, this person is, I don't know, from somewhere else, we will turn them around, put them back on the plane and take them back to the UK straight away. So we're not trying to just send people back willy-nilly.
So generally, I know you're leaving us soon for another assignment, but recently you visited Bonth district, and how would you describe the atmosphere in Sierra Leone, especially Freetown, where you're based, in terms of peace, stability? How would you generally describe the atmosphere?
You've got a special country. You really have got a special country. I mean, Bonth is amazing. Could have stayed a lot longer. We were just there for a few days, but it was, you've got a beautiful country. We were talking earlier a little bit about the sort of tourism potential. There's some amazing countryside, and it's really striking. Whenever we have visitors come as well, we say, actually, it's really safe. I still am quite shocked when I see people, sitting on their mobile phones on the back of a bike and think, hey, I mean, in London you wouldn't do that. Someone would take your phone, kind of thing. So there's a very nice vibe. There's a very nice, atmosphere. There's a lot of, I find a lot of my colleagues, they love being here. They really enjoy discovering Sierra Leone, the people, the parties, the food.
It's just the little taste of political.
The politics adds some spice.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, there's a lot going on. There's lots of exciting things, happening here.
And the cassava leaf?
Cassava leaf, I'm torn between groundnut and cassava leaf, but
Which one is your favorite?
I think my go-to is probably groundnut, but a good cassava leaf is really good.
A good one.
A really good one is special, yeah.
All right, Josephine.
At least the left with one Creole. Your favorite Creole so far.
I'll work on my career for next time.
Okay. All right, Josephine. It was a pleasure having you here this morning. I'm sure as we get closer to the political activities, we'll be hearing much more from you as one of the international partners to the government of Sierra Leone. Quickly, in just a minute, how would you describe the relationship between the UK and that of Sierra Leone currently?
I think it's really good. I think we've got some really exciting projects and plans together. We're trying to increase our trade and investment collaboration. There's plenty to do and plenty that we want to do.
And there's much more you can do.
That we will,
in terms of development.
We will do what we can. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Josephine. Looking forward to having much more engagement with you, especially on the area of your project, the implementation, and how much you will bring for the people of Sierra Leone. Because anything you bring from the people of the United Kingdom is way of helping the people of Sierra Leone. It was a pleasure having you here this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
All right. That's not Josephine Gold in the British High Commission to Sierra Leone. They talk about the e-visa where they don't start for enroll effective today. So if you apply now for a UK visa, you don't need to send your passport again at the UK. You hold on to your passport and you go get information when they don't take a decision on your passport, and you don't need again for travel or the sticker where you go to the airports, and just you get a code na the passport where they show the airline the check, and we each safe na Heathrow or Gatwick. That the same process they happen. Well, continue for watch the breakfast show. We can talk to the military now, as we can tell we the status of the Sierra Leone soldier man them, where the Guinean military being all allegedly then say then see them go na their own place. How this happen, you go know. And also we can get reports from Falaba. Somebody who did it for can give we reports of waiting exactly they happen. They just take this message quickly from our partner them. They can talk to the spokesperson for the military, where we can give more updates about the negotiation where they go on now between Sierra Leone and Guinea and how them plan for get back the Sierra Leone soldier man they now waiting at the hands of the Guinean military.
It's Labor Day. After all the grind, stress, and queries at the office, it's time to ease your brain, laugh out loud, and feel like the CEO. Larger with Kido and my hustle will make sense on Labor Day, Friday, May 1st, 2026. Venue, prestigious Pintumani Hotel, 7 p.m. Ticket prices: Kido, 500 millions. Answer, 1,000 millions. Amin, table for 4, 10,000 millions. Adil, table for 8, 20,000 millions. You don't buy yourself plenty. Now come and laugh. No excuse. Media partner Liberty Online TV and cooked by Eminence Africa.
I say, it don't make sense. I don't make sense.
All right, welcome back. It's still a Waji Breakfast Show where they come to you live on Liberty Online TV, and we tell you say this segment of the program where they can look now and talk about the issue we get to do with the Sierra Leonean soldiers them, where some Guinean soldiers them be apprehended this early this week. And we can get updates on waiting at negotiations and whether they go on from the side of Sierra Leone and that of Guinea for ensure they left them particular soldier mania. And for Kaipu talk from this, we want to welcome at the studio Air Commando HS Komba, when our Chief of Air Staff and Defense spokesperson. Good morning, a pleasure for getting you back after a very long time. In fact, when we come, you never come here.
Thank you very much. Good morning, listeners. Good morning. We are glad for being on this show, as always. Talk to people, educate to people. Thank you very much.
All right, we can talk to you shortly for let we get an update from the side of the military. How far I don't go with discussions for the Saloon soldier them way the Guinean soldier them be apprehend this week. But let we just go first quickly na Falaba, for talk to we colleague journalists. Let we know how the situation sound like, the information where then they get from that part of the country, and we will come balance them to that of the one where they come out from the information from the military. Where they join with colleague journalists now, Stephen Jibrila, where they work for SLBC na Kabbalah, but he gets updates we go give on that. Good morning, Jibril, and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Okay, good morning having me. Well, as we all then they follow up, the arrest of the Australian military functionaries, and including the OSD and officers, be happened the 23rd of this month. Na Kaliere na a community where they na Falaba district and it is na Sulema Chiefdom under the jurisdiction of Dr. Manga Salifu Samira IV in the paramount chief, but it's on a Falaba town. So Kaliere actually dominated with ethnic them with na Yalunkas them. And then Yalunkas also, they don't settle in that place. Even na Guinea also, na the same settlement, na the Yalunka, they na that particular area also, inside this conflict here can take place between the Sierra Leone and the Guinea pensioners. So, according to the information we will get from the colonial era from 1913, they had already demarcate the border between the Sierra Leoneans and the Guineans. But by settlements, then people then don't do intermarriages. Now one family people them, they all speak the same language by settlements, and they do activities together, they do farming period together. Now one family, they don't do intermarriages, it only happen between them. So, well, recently, based on the information we get from PC 21-9003, where na Mohammed Masare M, where na OSD, and will be attached na the police post na Kaliere over 13 military personnel where the Guineans and the arrest, and 2 OSD and 1 officer. How it all comes about. Then we don't get paramount chief now we don't say we then they call the mayor, but then they under the prefecture of Farana, and Farana now get that jurisdiction, that area where they call Sandiati inside Guinea na Farana. So na Farana na they the mayor sit down. So the mayor become and meet them people there and then military them. Now we patronize and they do some construction. According to the information we'll try for Ghana, say why they gather, they don't already encroach that they will according to the information. So on that, but if you say, what you understand, say the way how they respond, you know, we go down where the mayor, so the mayor therefore go back and make the report to the Farana military. So then people they may therefore make a troop where they come in high number. So where they come in just effect arrest. Even when they get a jet all Alpha jet be the helicopter be the way they fly with them where they come. So they come in high number, yes.
Prior to that particular arrest where they make of Sierra Leonean soldiers them, when I get any information if tension be done the area before that, or not just a sudden arrest them been do?
This is a sudden arrest actually be the mayor a visit. Now the paramount chief a visit na the site, the Kalere Day. Now based on the revisit we do and the response we get from the construction where they go on, this checkpoint where we personnel and they fix up. Now based on that, when he return back, then the troop then arrive and do the effect of arrest. And when they can, not only the human, the human, then the personnel they arrest, even the vehicles and they arrest some vehicles, some other elements, materials, and where they arrest from the personnel, where they carry them all go na Farana. But as of present, which we would only gather from yesterday now, which we only gather from one of the SLP communication lead, where na Kanu. I get what tell for say the officers where they arrest, they all in a Farana, then they in a good according to what you understand, then they in a good position, they not arm them. They not arm them at all. And at the same time, the 2 commanders they get a meeting yesterday. The other commander from Guinea and we own commander at the 12th battalion, infantry battalion Falaba district, the Belia Sinkunia. They all be meet together at the point day yesterday, and that be happened the early hours in the afternoon. That be happened we all get the information then. So they don't meet, they don't try for let and strike or compromise. But the way the treatment so far way then give to the minute we own personnel people really not happy on that. A lot of intimidation, I'll say intimidation.
Jibila, you want for break down the treatment? What in the treatment where they give them where you conclude saying that intimidation? What exactly happened to the Sierra Leone personnel them?
Well, when they go with them personnel them, what we see, what happen at Farana, we see them sit them down at the floor, of which they are officers. So that one not go down well with average Sierra Leoneans. Most of the information they gather, they don't go down well. Why they for do that to them? Yes, even if not like that, they don't come because na 2 border country and a country them na neighboring country. All they do, so lots of information we gather from people. People not glad on that. People are not glad the way how they treat the Sierra Leone personnel. So people not glad on that. We will try to forget all some other information. But we go further also, we get information from the Inagafala because they get a union. They get a union with Inagafala. This Inagafala, na the Soso Yalonka them. So this Yalonka then are in Sierra Leone, the Soso then are Guinea. So they all na like one family like. So as I be saying, inside into them people that don't get intermarriages, they don't get programs, so they know they work together. Most people them na that particular side, this Kaliere and all the other, even Askwenukra and others, them, most of the activities, the business, na Guinea, they can go do them. Father, na closest side to them. So that they na most of the area of business standing.
Jibrila,
so that's a long back down. Yeah.
According to the press release we come out from the Guinean military, then Sierra Leone personnel there go invade na den land, then go mount a Sierra Leonean flag na den land where allegedly na trespass, we make then catch the Salon military them. Before now, this particular land where don't bring all these issues between Guinea and Sierra Leone. As a journalist, would they be occupy this land before now?
Well, na Kaliere na Sierra Leone. Na Sierra Leone that be done. The area outside don't go now. Where obviously this issue don't come up, it's like then go ahead a bit. But na Sierra Leone, Kaliere
then go ahead.
Outside the posting.
Now, Sierra Leonean soldiers them go ahead into their own territory.
Waiting they don't say. Now waiting they don't say. Now waiting they
Who that then say, Jibrila?
Now that they say.
So what do you say? Because you don't been at this area for a long time, and as a journalist, who that you be no say, then at this land occupy ownership of this particular place, so don't bring this dispute.
That's Kaliere na Sierra Leonean. Na Sierra Leone place. Now they be done dey.
So the trespass with the Guinean authority then they claim say Sierra Leone military then go trespass na den land based on what you know from the activities them and the occupants them na this place for a long time, not to trespass not happen.
Quite sure.
All right, before you the left way, how the atmosphere sound like from Monday to this morning where we they talk to you? So any tension there or people there about the normal business currently as governments they engage with the authorities in Guinea? How the atmosphere sound like?
For now, the atmosphere based on I not did it this morning now, but from yesterday the atmosphere be cool. In the evening hours, we not see no other threats. We not see no other threats. We not hear about no other threats. And me say also they in touch with some other officers them we they na the Kaliere day and also Mongol division at the follow up. But not hearing no other threat. As I will just say them people here now one people. Now just because of most of them they do farming within themselves. Sierra Leone and Guinea, so then to get together. But for now, we not hear about no other threat. And as I say, the two commanders and they also get meeting yesterday that they discuss. And I understand for say delegation they come up from Peter also wait for head at the place. Hopefully, we all go expect for long go day and see which will be the way forward.
All right, Jibrila, many thanks for you join with this morning. We go call you for get updates on waiting go be the negotiation as you just not inform we audience say according to the information we meet you delegation they left return now for go and continue the negotiation on ground. We go call you later for know waiting at the outcome of the negotiation then they if they be able for release the Sierra Leone military personnel them where they now at the hands of the Guinean military. Many thanks for you join with this morning at the breakfast show. That's now we colleague journalist from Falaba we give we first-hand information but waiting they happen now. And as you hear from this particular place we don't bring the dispute between the Sierra Leone military and that of the Guinean military now a place where na Sierra Leone don't occupy them for a very long time and then don't did it. Well, we can now to the military spokesperson we still there with we na the studio this morning for Kangiwi. They on side of the story, waiting at the information we meet them and waiting they don't do so far for try for get back then colleagues them waiting at the hands of the Guinean military. Good morning again, Air Force Commander.
Thank you very much. Glad you for getting me.
All right, we'll just not listen to we colleague journalists from Falaba. We don't make and clear say this particular land we don't bring this dispute. Now a place on a Sierra Leone and them don't occupy for a very long time. But according to the press release we come on last night from the Guinean Chief of Defense Staff, allegedly on a men trespass on their own territory?
So thank you very much. So what thing I go do is I go make clarity in some of the things that we colleagues say from the place there. Yes, indeed, this incident it happened on that same date where he say, and from where it happened, government don't do a lot of things and government continue for do. So for make clarity in some areas, where the war been done, we armed forces deploy along the border like any country. You armed forces you deploy them because then they look at external aggression, whilst the police they look at the internal. So in then with deployment here, Falaba district will not be done deployed yet. But as recent, we'll be done deploying at this Kaleri. The deployment at this Kaleri, when then they go patrol at the border, the challenges that when they get, now may make them review why for do some step up, for go build a place whereby, every day you come out like from your future, you go patrol Waterloo or you go patrol Mashaka, far. So before you go to do so, you go and find a place where convenient, where you go there, then you look around. And when you do that in border business, you got to put flag. So we personnel away the Kaleri, they may do some forward deployment, or they intend for do forward deployment. We make them put this flag and begin blocks them for build structure. So now this structure where the Guineans then see, apparently then they go report to their own security. Just like if inside salon selves, then see something that happen, then we can report. But one thing will be don't happen. After the war, will be the international community, IMAT, International Military Advisory and Training Team will come. They be advise we on how we could deploy close to border. The advice then when them in Guinea, we in our own concept will not be deploy too close to the border. Whilst the Guinean then they in their own concept, then they deploy close to the border. So now that way we don't deploy her for a very long time, then we say we don't assume that as we border. Now the movement will they move now for go take we official position
on our own border.
Or we own border for secure we own border because of new development, new transformation in how we approach security. Apparently, our assumption is that then don't see them there as an aggression or trespass.
Yes, because based on waiting the Guinean Chief of Defense Staff say na the press release we issue last night.
That's not the show.
He say na trespass.
So now
we
make
then take on our own personnel them, disarm them, and get them in custody.
And we think say it's not supposed to be so, not called for. If not been we get other channels then where we go bring out the issues. Because mind you, then incursions are not the first time this way they happen at Salon. Between we and Guinea, it don't happen severally. We already get structures in place. We get border management committees then. In fact, we and Guinea at one time, we don't form a technical team. We then they inside that committee. We said they inside it. We get. I remember one time said we go hold meeting. Mr. said go. We go hold meeting at Conakry. We discuss all then border infractions here. Many of them. And as the reporter been they say, this border business we can now it's man just bring them. One going tribe a day Salon, they see them. You see them they Salon, then they Guinea, then they Liberia. So the people in segment and community then comfortable working alongside themselves. Are just within the government or normally governments and instruments of power. What I go talk about too. You get defense, then you get diplomacy.
Una don't come under heavy criticism for members of the public. From your standpoint now, what do you colleague then show so that day for surrender the ammunition them? You see inside them a video of them will go viral, then put them at ground, hold them into the custody. What in they show? Is it weakness or professionalism from the side of the Sierra Leone army?
Me thinks in a professionalism.
Not a weakness.
Not a weakness.
Then we get the might for resist the military
get the
army.
Ability, then get the training, then get the equipment for resist. But this country
so why
don't
they
go
surrender
through,
to them?
Fine. This country don't go through 10 or 11 years brutal war. We know where war come. Today, people under them in cut their hand and small. Today, they don't big. Then get challenged to take care of them. We know them today. We don't live through them. So for an infraction like that, for let we personnel go, it go say, okay, I go open fire. Mind you, what the reporter say, they even come with aircraft. What if the aircraft na gunship? The people then come with armor cars. Where then they say armor car, they're highly protected.
So where una not get how then go resist this kind
so
heavy?
That tells you the professionalism.
Where then cow it.
That tells you the professionalism of this man. They don't assess the situation.
But you say at that point, then we get the might and we get the professionalism for resisting.
They don't mean say when somebody cow it. That man who don't train them, the team where they are then train, If you count the armor cancer, they know how to deal with you. Then get that training. Then get everything they need for able to take care of that situation at that time. But just because the commander's intent, let's be clear on this. Commander's intent are like, we are their immediate boss, intent, they're immediate. The intent is that diplomacy for resolve this thing. As I tell you, so many border infractions than they, and we don't use diplomacy for resolve them. Not to this one now, we go use defense or attack or fighting them for resolve.
Those instance you go give, we go clearly indicate say the diplomacy we Sierra Leone don't they use for resolve then kind issue don't work.
Fine. If you recall, I've been talking about a committee, technical committee who don't set. Now, as a result of the diplomatic efforts, then committees then where they look at them issues here. We get with foreign affairs, with foreign affairs minister, they engage them in foreign affairs. We get with ambassador, we still get ambassador, they then say get ambassador now. As far as me understand, yesterday, the new ambassador, we don't call him. In the diplomatic world, we don't know what that they mean. For let them summon an ambassador, for let can explain what will happen. I'm sure we get we defense attaché, then say get defense attaché now. Who say get defense attaché? All these things that diplomatic means them for resolve the thing.
But is it productive, the diplomatic negotiations where don't they go on? Because as for Yenga, so many people even say now Salone for just don't give up because over 20, 30 years, diplomacy, nothing not don't come out tangibly. We go show say Salone don't reclaim Yenga back. We just the back and forth around the issue of diplomacy.
Thank you very much. I think say productive. Why I say productive? One, we don't get meetings. For now, even come where I go to Guinea, go hold a meeting. Then meetings and they a productive. For now, continue the discussion, a productive. For them to German them, for let them hold them. Instead of then keeping them there, then send them backwards towards their own higher headquarters. It means then self no want let the thing escalate. All that in the day, if you look at conflict resolution, now instead of the time for de-conflict, then de-escalate the problem. And that what they achieve that now diplomatic. And where I say the government now don't use both diplomatic, the foreign affairs, and the national security architecture. The reporter talk about a team way for go, a fact-finding team. All this now part of the diplomatic process. So that we get with facts them, then say get in facts them, then we sit down, we resolve them. Mind you, diplomatic process, it takes time. Now a process and procedure.
Why should they use the diplomatic routes for get settlement on this matter? How una take into consideration the welfare of una colleagues them were currently there in the hands of the Guinean military?
And thank you very much. Definitely the human element inside this tier, then we personnel and we then capture a paramount to it. One, we don't use this, I want to use this opportunity for talk to the people of Sierra Leone and then families them. We don't reach out to them. For let them know say we get concerned, we care about their welfare and safety. That is why we don't use all the channels there. We defense attaché don't engage the under, they don't go to the headquarters, they don't go to the appropriate channels them, but make sure say that we then update we on the status that they are okay, that nothing not do them. We they continue for follow up. We minister, as I say earlier, himself involved right now with foreign affairs minister.
The update
they get, then they tell you say they're in good condition. Rather they don't, in fact, then they try for pull them out.
They don't
out of
see them physically.
I'm sure, yes. No, that's yes.
Because if somebody just they give an update about una personnel them, and there's this video we go viral yesterday where they disarm them, put them a gun, and up till now, una dey na free tongue, they go through diplomacy, just they wait for update from somebody who they tell una say they're okay.
So definitely the diplomatic option are the best because the structure is set as such that for deal with issues like this. Defense attaché, ambassador. Okay. So what thing they happen is that the ambassador go talk to a company as ambassador. The defense attaché go talk to their own defense headquarters. And for the mere fact say, then take them from the area where the conflict area. It means they want to resolve it. So then go carry them go somewhere in the press secretariat and say they want carry them go for let them do their own investigation. So if they want to do investigation, which means they no want confrontation. And at the diplomatic route, we all want it. We and them.
The Guinean them, where everybody sabi, let's take you back to an instance of the former ambassador, we be in Guinea. Then be hold on to and say they want for do investigation about an alleged cocaine we then see inside the embassy utility vehicle. It been take the Minister of Foreign Affairs, according to him, move from Sierra Leone, go na Guinea, go get negotiation before they release the former ambassador Naian. Now they don't take their military personnel here, then sit and they go with them, then say one for do investigation. How sure you be say then go release una personnel then to una quick one?
The assurance what I get is that we relationship with the Guinean armed forces. You know, sometimes country then diplomatic level they can get problem. But we at defense level, what we can always try for do, we keep corridors open so that we'll be able to communicate. We can give slots them to Guinean officers them for letting attend calls. We take part by exercise with the Guinean armed forces. Recently, we even give award to the Guinean armed forces for the fet so them we can fet now and appreciate them. So we keep them channels then open and use soft power so that we'll be able to get them discussion here. And we as defense, we'll be able to advise we political masters them, let them see reason why we for the result them here. So I think say yes, the diplomatic end, then don't they get any kind of challenge. It highly likely say from the defense angle, we can able to soften this thing and get them personnel release.
From where the incidents happened on Monday, conflicting figures don't they come out as to the number of Salon soldiers that we didn't really apprehend. From the Guinea release yesterday, we seen as 16 then take note of. From we on side, the military, now how many personnel them una no say they apprehend?
So when they get challenged for figure, but the Guinea figure don't help with small. Because if you get number of people we able to account for, the side we hold and say they don't account for this figure, we try for confirm some now, whether some people left in a bush or whether. Once we confirm them figures, then they will go make loud.
How long you go for take the military for confirm the figures? Because now Monday the incidents happen, and I believe say when they do deployments, there must be somebody where they release number of people where they go. So if the number of people where go, una withdraw, for example, now for don't know say now this number no come back. How long you go for take for get that
Let the
established?
public just bear with a small bit, we go get that figure for them. Just small bit.
But then come out with the figure.
Yes, because then they're not the hand now. Like I say, physically they're not the hand.
Which means una not get no information about the personnel them,
No,
because
it's
una
not
not even know the number of una personnel them waiting at the Guinean
But
military
again-
there. But they
again-
don't come now, they don't tell una say, now this number we get.
For
If
we-
una be there in close communication with them, una for don't know the exact number.
So for defense, figures, yes, you go look for just say figures like that. But thing where they under investigation, thing where they try for do something about, you just begin can release figures like that.
But you been say now even don't send person we don't go see them for no say them they in good
No,
state.
I'm not saying we don't send person for go see them. We don't send person for look at the issue. Then from the defense attaché angle.
Yeah, for
So,
look at them welfare.
Once
Whether
they want
they
to
in good.
yeah. So
So somebody go go
take time in
check
process.
if somebody they in good state. The first thing we go kind of you mind is no for some people there.
No, but they don't confirm saying at 16. That's what they say. That's one we
No,
So
from
that
we
number
own
they una dey go
angle.
by.
That can be a working figure.
So as of now, una self they
Now,
go
a
by
working figure
say,
that they go now be a working figure. But like I said, sometimes it's not even about figure. It's about let you understand what don't happen and what you to do about them. Which is here, then welfare, where you ask a very good question about. What you don't do about that. The one with them wound, who done the treater now, where he recover in psychosocial recovery.
who's on the Twitter?
Na McKinney, they will get hospital there with the treatment there. So once he recover in psychosocial, okay, somebody not go get any kind of trauma, he go begin asking some question there. Once he relax, we go ask him. So would they ask the public, just be able to small? We are as transparent as possible, and we want to know. We don't want vacuum, as I can say. We don't want vacuum in this. It creates a lot of people go on through other things inside. We go create misinformation.
Una they see this incident as a major issue for the military and Sierra Leone security.
This incident we see them from different angles. When something happened in the military, we get what we call after action review, whereby we assess the situation, we learn from them, and then we make recommendations and try for implement their recommendations. So this is now a learning process for we get lessons learned from it. Some of these things, and they even nothing the way they write policies them. They change policy on how you do things. For example, we get with national defense policy and strategy now we don't write for deal with issues like this. This will make we also look at whether we policy will done right, address the issues here or not.
This come as a surprise to una based on the diplomacy we done the gone between Salon and Guinea. This come as a surprise.
They assure you say infractions don't they happen with Guinea many. So if this come as a surprise, I go wonder. But from previous history, they show say when would the NECU plan them when they prepare them, apart will they take note of that?
What in this expose about the Sierra Leone military?
Well, it exposed some sort of professionalism where the soldier them would train and say, we get escalation of force. When I part of the doctrine where they teach. How they escalate force, how they de-escalate them, or they teach them that. So for leader officer or then personnel and they look at this kind of situation. In fact, we get one concept we can teach them what we call strategic corporal. Strategic corporal is a concept where the US Army developed, whereby they get a couple, a deploying at the Middle East, a action, it gets strategic effect to the government. When something happen, it not just go act because you want to act, but rather it think through all them process here. So we want to commend them for that action where they take. They wouldn't hold somebody run away from them. So you see some element of bravery, some element of professionalism.
They run away with so much pains.
Yes, but for the mere fact
they run away, they almost pulling his commot.
Again,
they run away, it be then a vulnerable situation.
I'm happy when they bring out them here. You know why? I want to take you to something where President do for you then this year, where he give 25%. Now all that consideration here, where the government and people of Sierra Leone look at say, the soldier then law are 25% for them, and not for be a problem. In fact, then for add more, but now this they're able for now. You understand, eh? So the soldier get covenant with the government. Where that soldier go train, before they graduate, they take oath, say they protect the constitution. And everything will lead to good governance now the constitution is derived from. The soldier they makes say the protector. Even at the ultimate of in prize, we make the 18th of February. We go a war, we honor people them. We do bravery, then give them awards. And also we remember people that we don't die or pay ultimate price. So you see this thing, it honored a lot of things for we as an institution and also for UNA with people them. For let we understand and see how we will support we armed forces, both in terms of moral support and in terms of anything we wanna go do for make people them calm down so that they will understand, say, this will not happen. We need to come out of it. Resilience as a country, as a government, as an armed forces. We will be resilient in coming through things like this.
But how are they train them for protect the territorial integrity of Sierra Leone? Where in an instance, somebody come, they bring in your ammunition, then come. Then where you can hold you hand over all thing where they give you to them, they care you go, and also waiting you to use for protect your territorial integrity at the same time.
They assure you say, knowing Sierra Leone or knowing how the world, how people they think, human beings. If them man and they be say, I want to make bravery, then 30 under, people die under. People lost their property.
So now they train enough for resist arrest. No. For example, in that instance,
would they train them for deal with conflict and how they escalate violence? Would they train them? Would they tell them? We get indicators, things the way they look for. If you don't see, say this man, they don't come by this way, he come with this kind of equipment, this kind of result. These people were resolved for comfort with.
So from una and the military hierarchy, una they applaud them officers here for where they giving them weapon, they not resist.
It's too early for law to applaud anybody. It's too early. Rather,
because for you say
no. I just give you options.
You say they show professionalism.
I'll tell you something. When something happen, when you better analyze them, you better understand them, then it could determine your action.
It's almost 3 days now.
And sometimes if you hastily decide, say, oh, I'll do this now because this don't happen now, you go end up for do the wrong thing. The number of days, it matter, but to a large extent, what's important, now for law able to do a proper fact finding, you not go find law go international community. Now they use diplomacy. We'll go there to haphazard facts. These facts here are not correct. We're not able to get them. We follow social media, social media they say. But rather, let's go on the ground with the right composition of team. You get diplomatic people that went in the diplomatic world, people that went in the national security world, and go there, Then go through all them places here, ask people, do the right investigation, write a concise and comprehensive report. Now the government will be able to use that report.
But now they use all this diplomacy. What you go say to somebody, we go say, one of una utmost priority for now, for be, usai una officers then they. As of you sit down and I don't even know if they're in a detention, you don't even know about the welfare, only information una they get from a counterpart defense attaché.
Mind you, like I tell you, in the defense or diplomatic world, structures than they, processes than they, procedures than they. If you call the foreign affairs, I know another own job that. We are say because I've been a part of the meeting when they call the ambassador. Then we will tell you something. Okay, from the defense side, we go with defense attaché. Instead they follow up on anything and they give information. All I want let family to know at this time is that these people are safe, they are okay, and we make frantic efforts for bringing them down. Just mind you, we just talk about numbers here, but not the number really matter. What matter now the safety and well-being of them people there. And then people are not like a whistle, like me. Now one like me. If I don't be like me, with me, I they expect say if I they under me seniors then go do everything possible, which is what would they do? Then people here then get families then. We want to assure them say, will they do something? Definitely.
What's the fear of Sierra Leone military, for example, then kind of thing and they happen as an alternative, waiting for them be done instead of you allowing somebody taking you, mend them away. Waiting our fear is it that they overpowered Salone in terms of the equipment and when they can go outside and go arrest to soldier them, we not been get enough weapons, for example. Waiting a really Salone fair.
I just want to give a context, let people understand from that. In this same group, we get people that will run away. Well, one of the other way escape from them, they stab them. This tells you, then people been prepare for escalating to whatever level. And also, as I say, investigation, when then team here don't come back or more information, then we go know why this officer, and I make when you talk about commending, we are the too early. Because we go know whether this officer used the right judgment. So we go down debrief him. We go know in action whether I commensurate to the situation at that time.
But are we well armed at that part? Because if your enemy say they come for fetch you,
well,
now the way how he see you prepare, they make him advance or he retaliate. But when you see them advance, it means them being sure say they don't overpower Sierra Leonean soldiers and where they under already.
One thing where I go assure you, I know not to one of them, so I don't know how they do them planning. But for let somebody carry out armor personnel carrier, this now motor car way they make them so that if you use small arm, you fire them, bullets not for go inside.
We not get
We not get at the moment with the try for it. If you see them carry with motor car them, we then anti-aircraft gun there in case you carry planes, and then they use for counter. You see them carry with plane.
So now make we soldier them afraid.
Well, not to say they're afraid, but rather again we go back and forth with this. But what's important is that these personnel then will train them for deal with situation as the situation they can.
All right, so let we just shift a little, like you say. I know see they left with very soon, but a lot of conversation don't they go around the issue of selling lands them. The latest one at Juba, we see the issue again will be happen with the military field na Kisi. A lot of public concern don't they come up as to waiting exactly they go on now the military with the sales of their lands there.
Thank you very much for that question. I'm sure most people who don't see the press release we send out or make clarity on this thing. Again, it come from the transformation we will do. Believe you me, this 21st century, if you want to let your armed forces able to carry out a mandate, you need for do certain thing, you need for get certain thing, you need for get capacity. And as part of that capacity, the human resource is critical now. And if you want to look at human resource, you get to look at that human resource in welfare. And as part of that in welfare, you get to look at in accommodation, health, training, and so many things. But for time and limit this discussion, let's look at in accommodation. This current administration where
most of we don't live in this barracks. The CDS, a case in point, inside barracks, he grew up, he born. That same barracks, them built in the 60s, whereby now buckets them in the pool for empty toilet sanitation. Today, then side and the way them they use so. Now inside the people they sleep. Toilet oh. People they don't pull that bucket, they don't see now inside it then they sleep. Kitchen and women they now inside the people they sleep. Because colonial time them build only 18 or 19 houses then, 16 sir. And then houses here, them in build at the outskirts of Freetown. But today, these barracks, for all live like armed forces in the 21st century, the barracks don't outlive that purpose. So they try for repurpose it. So this discussion where they go around, all we were trying to say at that time, now armed forces they would they look at appreciating people, would they look at people and welfare. Now ain't been bring this accommodation talk. Okay, what in bring this sales talk? Now been looking at options. Where option one na sales. Option 2 now for look at public-private partnerships. And then option 3, look at how we self go develop that barrack. Right now, money no dey. These armed forces, for the past how many years, the burden what they put on the budget is so heavy. So we sit down, this leadership will say, okay, we'll do some transformation. We'll start with policy. So that document where President launched that day, National Defense Policy and Strategy, we roll out that policy. This policy, they tell we say, law get one tool, what we call Defense Enterprise Service. This Defense Enterprise Service, now the tool we want use for the generate revenue, so that we'll be able to take care of ourselves in some areas where government not giving.
So una they sell them
So now let's go back to this. This now one whole long thing. So but for cut and short.
So una
this
they
property,
sell them
we want transform them. Una say this una company, una go decide say okay, we want partner with armed forces for bill.
So not to sell una they sell?
No, forget somebody will say they give you 1 million for one town lot. If now you say you go sell or you not go sell.
No, you answer we.
No, una answer me because money the way they count to me. And me now I don't go get place. I don't buy land na Mashaka. I get land na Daru. I get land na Kabala. Go see inside soldier and they sleep na Kabala. Go see inside soldier and they sleep na Daru. Go see inside soldier and they sleep na Moroto. I get all in land in there. But I get this land, I want transformer. What here they get now they take go put here. And in fact, the way they go put here, we don't make it in such a way, a guy forget offices, a guy forget better accommodation for sleep.
So why you not go sell the land yonder and can't
revive this
value?
In fact, that they don't justify. That the way you don't ask for it, don't justify. Yonder and who's why you go sell? Now the prime land you go sell. Then you go put yonder. Because we believe say Alexa na inside hole will go build barracks.
But
we'll put them facility there. Civilian in the car around.
Purpose why the barracks they outside.
That was then.
So for now,
we're not going to expand that barracks.
That Juba barracks no attractive anymore.
And not attractive for law able repurpose them for law maximize the for law look at the welfare as how we plan in this with national defense policy and strategy.
So is it true that now a foreigner Lebanese to
no. Well, I'll tell you something. What thing don't happen? Now just like where you think of an idea, this idea where I don't think about. I go to my governing body when I with Defense Council. I tell we governing body, say, I don't get this idea. Now this I want to do. We want to transform the Arslav. Accommodation keeper now. But I get this place, we can transpose them, for go, I don't get other place, I want to go there. Then until we say, hey, one, when I work with AG office, if when I get right for that property and for do the what you want to do. B, when I make sure say when I transparent and accountability in this. C, when I follow all the laws, including procurement procedures then, for make sure. So then a whole lot of things. Collaboration and cooperation. When I know say, if we want to sell that place there, we not get expertise for value that place there. We go for work with Ministry of Works. If we want whatever arrangement we want to make for the land, we go for go to Ministry of Lands. All them people here will not even meet there itself. After all meet them, then people here go for say, Lord go na cabinet. Lord go get cabinet approval. All these things get for happen. And not happen it.
But if you go for happen, you go for happen eventually. Yes. And people are worried, especially about the school within Ajuba services, where a lot of people don't go through.
You know, again.
And they're worried now, say, if we go for sell that particular place, what's going to happen to the school?
Now make we pull the press release for make clarity for this misinformation. That Juba school, In fact, what you want to do Juba school now for upgrade them? Because we think say if we able get any investor, a come, we partner. Whatever we do, we invest it. That partner says I not go and get fine thing that they get from the school. We try for influence them if possible. For let it upgrade Juba, but Juba therefore stay outside there. That school not for soldier no more now. Now for that whole community. So it has to stay.
All right, I'll just take quickly messages you respond, then you can left free.
Okay.
Would they go quickly and look at some of the messages where people don't send and they read from YouTube. This one they say how many personnel in total that was deployed in that area. Then this other one they say sorry, but the military dropped the ball. The number of military personnel missing should be the first thing they should know. All right, so they look at more messages. Now the YouTube Kube they say look at the conflicts in Mexico. They're able tell Amos military personnel we die in a day.
This one na the Facebook page. Israel Ojeke Papa Senior say Soja, you can improve the facilities on the land, not to sell the land. Military has no right to sell Juba or Benguma or any land in the peninsula of Freetown.
Ibrahim Stephen Koma, they say the situation that happened at the Sulema Chiefdom, Falaba District, Sierra Leone and Guinea border should not be viewed in the political context. It's of national interest. But what we are seeing now in some opposition members are trivializing it to fit their political motives instead of nationalistic points of view. Very sad country. Politics don't make, we just they see we serve as enemies.
This one from Sylvester Shaw is saying my expectations may not be entirely accurate, but the first response I was expecting from the military and our government are as follows. 1 is to communicate an unconditional release of our personnel. 2, release a press statement admonishing the citizens, name the hostages involved and request the nation to join their families in prayers for support as work on their release. Deploy troops on all the border crossing points so defer future attacks. Close the border with Guinea and overtax all Guinean owned businesses in Sierra Leone. Their response to the aforementioned will inform my next line of action. As it stands, we do not even know the hostages involved. I can only imagine what their families may be going through.
Emmanuel Bori on YouTube, they say the Guineans stabbed your own personnel and captured some, and you are still talking of diplomacy.
All right, more messages. This one from Abdullah Saidu. It says, Salon, we have nothing we can write home about in terms of defense. All we are good at is corruption, no integrity in our country. Our president travel almost every day without buying ammunition to defend the country.
All right, this one from Peter by Bangura. They say, Kumba Sef, where they add the Air Force, not get opportunities for any air defense force.
All right, this one from Israel again. It says military has no freehold and in Freetown and the colony. They have no right to sell what they do not own. Using the lands for military purposes does not mean you own the land.
All right, this one they say during Armed Forces Day, I heard that Sierra Leone now have Air Force. Please ask which kind of Air Force are we talking about?
Christopher Freeman say Amokars and war tanks should be deployed at our borders to help defer any foreign erosion. It say it is truly unfortunate and disheartening that our military does not currently possess such vehicles.
This one they say the guy is very responsible with his words. He's trying not to be like the Nigerian military.
We'll look at more messages we don't come in. This one from Melissa Kaba is say you're talking of diplomatic process because we are not on the ground. If any of them would have been harmed, that is all you will say.
All right, from their messages then this last one they say my advice to the army with regards to the selling of Juba is to relocate the school to the other end between Saratel Post and Our Lady Star of the Sea Church.
Thank you very much, listeners. I really appreciate the comments that we come. It just give a perspective to how they understand them. And I mean, I could just want to make clarity in some areas. Let's start with the land in Ajuba. We press statement a day out. It came out clearly that the Juba land a government get them, but rather the military now they right now. So that have been the reason we go back to a young governing body and tell we governing body say we want let the government using the appropriate means and process or let them allow we transpose the other speaker talk about build the structures there. The thing that we want put for the new armed forces, when are the armed forces of the 21st century, that land they too small for put there. We cannot host it. So now we don't go find a place about 250 to 500 acres, on a large space, we'll go put facilities there. In fact, where we look and where will be engaged the Ministry of Lands about how, as part of this transformation, how we go relocate into some areas then welcome the idea because we all get the concepts understanding say and we don't see them from other countries. When military go establish some side, people they come around there. We want to see salon open up. Follow all can sit down at the same place no more to they when at this more. If you want make Yana now, who side the people then go there? You want them because from these people their own views law develop the same place. It's like you are saying when you pull them people here you want, for example, I want put something inside that cup there. I go for pull the cup. Who side the people then go? We don't have that. So now make one go into an agreement, an arrangement, whereby we go build place. Every personnel within at this current place, therefore move first before we transform that place. So I want to make that clear. Some politics thing then come, so German, but all I get for say is that let people know say, soldier, we they under oath for protect the constitution. And that constitution they will protect. Then in terms of deployment, for say, okay, because I know me not deploy there, I don't know what in the people left. I want to say that's not true. Because that stage where that man I go through that stage. I don't get the training where that man they get. And this na international best practice or military norm and waiting. Certain things and they peculiar to the armed forces. Would they train this man for deal with that kind of situation? He get the training. He able to do them. But like the other speaker say, the other writer say, I agree with him. The family and the populace. We're concerned about them people here, their well-being. And we'll do everything possible. But we cannot bite with, we're not going to chew it to not bite. We not go just go inside Guinea, go take the people there. We'll go for use the structures there. We already don't establish. But reach out to them people and get them.
Somebody else they ask say, like, for the first way they expect Sona for do now for ask for the unconditional release of the personnel.
We don't do that. We don't do that. I think we don't do that. It come out clear. I think in my discussion, I'm not sure if Naya or somewhere. But what I say was, we waiting and do a unaccepted, a uncalled for, and we want let them release them unconditionally.
Now that one don't pass as message to them.
Yeah, we don't pass down. We don't pass down there to we own structure, and I think say they go through. I'm not. Yes, now that we don't pass because trust me, just like you get picking. Somebody want to go take advantage. No matter what you picking do, certain thing and you get for make them clear to them. Not so we dey negotiate, but we get for make them understand say the need for release them with people. There will people.
When I give them any ultimatum.
Definitely, that's by saying we want unconditional release. That's
like
enough.
A time frame. Say when I need for release them so time.
Well, again, me not a diplomat, but mind you, once you get diplomat, the military defense will get your own way how they put out. Then the diplomacy. This is something where they blend between the diplomacy and defense. So
we cannot see not to make mention of the government press release we come out where the Ministry of Information publish. As in Sierra Leone really put foot down and say we they give unconditional release now they ask for from the Guinean counterpart.
So like I say, this relationship we get the military defense tier and then we get the diplomatic tier. And we own defense tier, that is now we own position and we don't tell them. And we don't make this clear to the diplomatic as well. But then they negotiate, they know better how to deal with this situation than me.
Somebody they say it's time now for Leona to flex on our muscles because not to the first time this the Guinea they come try for invade the Sierra Leonean territory.
This person, all I could tell him is that we're on track. We got a new administration. You know, say new administration under the auspices of Lieutenant General Ama Haidara Bangura. We don't do fine thing. We don't put the means, the ways. We know the policy, the defense policy what the president launched that day. I want to find time. Maybe we can discuss that policy.
Sure.
You understand, eh? That policy, it don't lay out exactly how we deal with situation like this. And the means, when are the resources, how we will get resources for do that.
Because that's our
don't find time for discuss that.
Situation of talking one box by hand shots. We want to do something, but we not get like the equipment that we need for the waiting we supposed for do.
For the mere fact say, we don't identify, say we need the resources here, and we don't find the means how we will get them. I think we're on track.
Waiting go be your word of assurance we did left to you personnel them. The one they already under detention now, although I don't know it, the number, and safe the one them we still demand that post there.
So all I go say to the personnel them, I think we'll get official means for talk to them. And we don't do that. But rather, the people that more the target, now them family and the public, the public. To the public, would they ask for some restraint and calmness? It's in the way the government they do right now, the whole government approach they do for bringing people here back, I think they're on track. Lord, believe in the process and Lord, wait and see what may happen. We will to be transparent in this, we will let them know. But we want them for let them calm down. Like as this person say, we will continue for talk to their families here. We need to be assure them and we will go out as fast as we can for get information on them, for know how them well being there, and we give that ultimatum for let them release them without condition.
How soon you feel say when I will get them detained here?
To be honest, the diplomatic level, they are above me on level. Well, are they inside it to some extent? I'm not going to determine that. But rather, I go say, everybody know the urgency. Then feedbacks here all they come, so we did note them and we did report them. So the people of Sierra Leone and the government are aware, say, we need to get them people here back. If we're not getting people here back as soon as possible, they attract more doubt, they create more problem.
This continuous
intervention
from the Guinean military.
For the resilience, now more I want to emphasize on here. It just make we low analyze and understand the situation better, and then we do planning them in line with that.
How soon the public will reform on again?
I don't move from one radio station or one TV station
with
to the
something
other,
new now.
Okay, with something new as we get them. So trust me, you get them. If you not be on a 2 year on a side, but we'll go let them out.
All right, many thanks, Air Force Commander, where you join me this morning for kind of updates on you personnel them where as of now they speak, then still they with the Guinean military. We'll continue for they in touch with you throughout the day. If there is anything new, we self go put them out there so we viewers them for let them know say something new don't happen. It'll be a pleasure for get you this morning. Like how you say we'll find time for can discuss other issues them we get for do with the military, especially this policy where you don't talk about. Well, now I'll go end this edition of the Breakfast Show. Many thanks to ourselves. We join with this morning. We start with the British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Josephine Gold. As soon as reformer effective this morning, the UK don't transition to e-visa system. We mean say applicants them where they apply now on e-visa, then they get another updates from the military. Diplomatic talks, then they go on now for let them see how then go get back them personnel them we still lay under the Guinean military. Well, continue for Watch Liberty TV throughout the day where they bring count on our latest updates about different issues that we now of public interest where they bring count on only on Liberty TV. Mina Khadija Bangura, they say have a good day.
All right, and Mabel Kabade say get a good day and stay out of trouble.
Building tomorrow today with Rightmove. Looking for quality, reliability, and innovation in your next big build? Choose Rightmove Engineering and Construction, Sierra Leone's trusted name in transforming ideas into enduring structures. We don't just build projects, we craft landmarks that stand the test of time. From state-of-the-art offices and modern homes to fuel stations, water systems, and infrastructure, our team delivers precision, passion, and perfection. At Rightmove, we are not following industry standards, we are setting them. Through cutting-edge technology, uncompromising safety, and sustainable solutions, we are building a brighter, stronger, and safer Sierra Leone. Visit us at 54 Campbell Street, Freetown, or call 078399475 or 077504338. Rightmove Engineering and Construction. Building quality, building trust, building the future.
It's Labor Day. After all the grind, stress, and queries at the office, it's time to ease your brain, laugh out loud, and feel like the CEO. Larger with Kido and my hustle will make sense on Labor Day, Friday, May 1st, 2026. Venue, prestigious Bintumani Hotel, 7 p.m. Ticket prices: Kido, 500 millions. Answer, 1,000 millions. Amin, table for 4, 10,000 millions. Adil, table for 8, 20,000 millions. You don't buy yourself plenty. Now come and laugh. No excuse. Media partner Liberty Online TV and cooked by Eminence Africa.
I say, it don't make sense. I don't make sense.